When you think of living a frugal life, the mind imagines squeezing every last penny out of your pocket, but that's not the case. In fact, living a frugal life is about living a simple life, spending time and money on what's important to you. It's not about compromising your best quality for something you don't want. The best part about all this is that you can create your own approach. You decide where you will live stingily and where you will splurge. So, are you ready to give frugal living a try? Well, in today's video, we'll be sharing with you 20 tips to get you started. 1. Budget, budget, budget. Okay, it may sound boring and taxing, but there's no shortcut to this. Creating and sticking to a budget is fundamental to your financial success. It's actually the best and biggest frugal tip out there. A budget does you good in many ways. For a start, it structures your spending. This way, you only get to spend on what you want to spend on. A budget prioritizes things that matter and ruthlessly cuts out things that don't. This doesn't mean you won't be splurging on things you like. With a budget, you'll be able to save on these guilty pleasures in advance. If you occasionally enjoy treating yourself to a nice pair of shoes, or even going out with friends, you may start putting money aside just for that. Luckily, there are plenty of free automated tools online that can help your budgeting goals succeed. 2. Buy in bulk. Doesn't really sound like a frugal thing to say, but buying in bulk does seem to save you a ton of money in the end. Look at it this way. If you stumble upon a great deal at your local butchery and find meat on sale, it would be wise to have your butcher slice the parts into smaller pieces and package it for you ready to be stored in your freezer. This will turn out cheaper than purchasing individually cut pieces. And if you consider shopping for frequently used items in bulk, such as toiletries and groceries, you may find that the price per unit is usually lower when buying in bulk. However, if you do get to purchase perishable goods, cook and freeze them to prevent any wastage. 3. Evaluate your subscriptions. Most of us are slaves to this, especially when it comes to subscriptions we don't necessarily need. The best way to tackle this is by going through every single subscription and seeing how often in a month it serves you. Anything less than 60% should be off your list. Also, you shouldn't have a subscription on similar services such as Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus, just because you have a favorite show on each. You may have to prioritize what you really need and let go of everything else. A survey done showed that people end up spending $100 a month on subscriptions they don't need. In a year, that could amount to $1,200. That's tons of money which could be channeled towards your emergency savings or saved for something else you really need. Before we get into the 4th tip, I'd like to thank Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. Explore new skills, develop existing interests, and get lost in creativity. It's curated specifically for learning, meaning there are no ads, and they're always launching new premium classes, so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. One course that I really liked in particular is Find Your Style, 5 Exercises to Unlock Your Creative Identity by Andy J. Pizza. This fun and inspiring class lays out 5 hands-on exercises that will unlock your artistic identity. Working in your medium of choice, you'll explore who you are and what you have to say, then put it all together into your own personal style guide. So, if you're interested, do check it out. So the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, so you can start exploring your creativity today. 4. Reduce your shopping trips. This will save you more than you can bargain for. I mean, if you don't see it, you won't buy it. Spending a lot of time in stores increases the likelihood of you seeing something you like and purchasing it. The best way to tackle this problem is to make a shopping list of the main things you need, so that you have a guide to help you stay on course. 5. Avoid credit card debt. First things first, only opt in on credit cards when you can afford to pay it in full. Even though they are a useful tool, and some even have amazing cashback opportunities along with gift card options, don't fall into the credit card debt trap. Interests on these cards are usually quite expensive, and it can easily pile up some unnecessary debt. You must pay your balance off in full every month if you do use your credit card. If you're unable to pay it in full, it's best not to use it at all. Frugal living requires you to avoid credit card debt at all costs to ensure you're saving that extra money instead. 6. Travel like a miser. I know you're wondering, what's the fun in that? Well, I'm not telling you to stay at a $10 motel. Traveling frugally means being financially smart when making travel arrangements. For example, you can save a good chunk of money by traveling to places during what they call their off-season and still have a wonderful vacation. You can also minimize eating out experiences and opt to get a place with a kitchen, preferably an Airbnb, instead of an expensive hotel room with limited amenities. Also, things such as purchasing discounted airline tickets or fares can save you hundreds of dollars. 7. The wait 24 hours rule. Impulse buying has never been easier, thanks to e-commerce. That's why applying the 24-hour rule is key to all your online purchases. It's that one place you can find anything and everything at the touch of a button, and before you know it, those late-night shopping sprees end up costing you tons of cash. Applying the 24-hour rule simply means that no matter where you're shopping online, you need to leave the items in the cart for 24 hours before proceeding to check out. Another advantage to this is that most shops will often send you a coupon code for items you left in your cart to entice you to buy. So not only will you have stopped yourself from buying stuff you don't need, but also get a discount on stuff that really matters. 8. Lower electricity usage. Utility bills suck, but nothing sucks more than a bill you could have avoided in the first place. Don't go to the extremes of using candles around the house. However, a few changes could go a long way. If you're fond of air conditioning, why not replace that with some fans? You can also use cold water for your clothes instead of warm wash. Not only that, hang your clothes to dry. There's no need for a dryer when you could just use a drying rack to hang your clothes. This will not only save you money on your electric bill, but will also make your clothes last longer, and you will need new clothing less often. Another way you can combat spiked electric bills, especially during winter, is by dressing in warm clothing and giving the heater a break. The house doesn't need to be warm enough to walk around in a vest and bare feet in the middle of winter. 9. Make gifts instead of buying them. Not everyone has the charm or eye for do-it-yourself things, but if living frugally is the plan, you may just have to learn a thing or two. It doesn't matter the occasion. Making gifts can be more meaningful than purchasing them. Did you know that Christmas is one of the most expensive holidays? Avoid landing in some serious credit card debts, especially if you're on a budget. Check out Pinterest and YouTube for some great gift-making ideas. 10. Downsize. Living in a larger home feels nice, especially if you've got a status to maintain, but it's also quite expensive. Not only are you paying for more square footage, but also the little costs that come along with it. There's no need of living in a 5-bedroom house, yet you're single with no family. Consider downsizing to a 2-bedroom, and maybe the spare room could serve as an office or a guest room. The area should also be reasonably priced to make the compromise worth it. Instead of opting in an area that only the A-list are living, surrounded by high-end stores, consider an area that gives you value for money and gives fewer expectations on the surrounding stores because they aren't as expensive. Choosing where you live is a key part of being content with your frugal life. 11. Shop no-name brands. It doesn't matter if it's clothing or even grocery shopping. Instead of rushing for the brand name, look for value in products. Just because you can buy something doesn't mean you should. Consider purchasing generic brands, as a rule, and only buy brand name when you have a coupon or you're sure of its value. As you work on saving, determine the brands you can do without. Whether it's a temporary fix or a permanent decision, this can really give you a boost for saving more money. 12. Shop clearance. I'm not calling you a cheapskate for choosing to shop clearance. Never pay full price is a good rule to help you live a frugal life. It doesn't matter if online or at your local store. Always check the clearance section first. You might land on some great bargains, especially groceries, which may turn out to be quite expensive. Also, take advantage of any coupons. Those savings can go a long way. 13. Sell things you don't need. Most of us are guilty of keeping clutter we don't need. Even clothing that we may not have worn for a whole year could be stashed up in the closet. Whether you've amassed an oversized collection of designer shoes, have tons of items you've outgrown, or have an overflowing collection of best reads, it might be time to let it go. How about you turn that clutter into cash? There are plenty of places to sell online, such as the Facebook Marketplace, eBay, or even Craigslist. 14. Walk or bike when you can. Doesn't sound appealing, especially if you imagine getting into the office all sweaty. However, although having an affordable car is great, walking and biking are much more cost-effective. You could take that opportunity to bike or walk to a small store errand whenever you have the chance. You'll save on gas while enjoying some good exercise. 15. Automate your savings and investments. Living a frugal lifestyle does not mean that you're always concerned about money. After setting up spending goals, it's important to automate those goals. If you don't, you might find yourself falling back into the overspending black hole. Automate everything: bills, savings, fun money, etc. When you automate, you won't waste time thinking about money. Instead, use that extra energy to focus on implementing money-saving systems. 16. Avoid cleaning help. We all rush at the idea of hiring someone to help us with our mess around the house, but avoiding this help might save you lots of money, as well as keep you active around the home. Chores aren't fun, but they can be manageable with great planning. You don't have to spend a whole day cleaning and scrubbing floors. You could take turns and create a cleaning timetable. In the long run, you'll find it easier to clean up because things are more organized. Have a list of things that need to be done nightly, weekly, and monthly. If you're a family, tasks could go on rotation. Another great tip is wash the car from home when you can. 17. Fitness at home. Did you know that more and more Americans are opting to work out at home? Want to know why? Well, they've realized that a gym membership is quite expensive. The average gym membership can cost about $58 per month, which equals to almost $700 in a year. Instead of splurging that money at the gym, you could buy some small equipment to help you work out from home. On the bright side, you can find home workout videos on YouTube to help you with the transition. 18. Have fun for free. Challenges feel easier when fun is involved, and one of the best frugal living tips is having fun for free. It may sound absurd, but there are a ton of free fun things to do. In case you're wondering, stuff like going to the park, having a picnic, or having a bonfire, just to mention a few. If outdoors isn't your bargain, consider indoor games with family and friends. You can have a board game night, or even have a romantic date night at home. 19. Do meal preps. When you get time over the weekend, cook in bulk and do meal preps. This will allow you to always have a ready food option, whether it's carrying lunch to work or having dinner after a long day of work. Having a home meal saves you money by avoiding fast food temptations. All it will take is you taking out your food from the freezer and heating them. You might even find that you actually enjoy cooking when you don't have to do it every single day. 20. Grow your own vegetables. Vegans for the win, because first of all, they don't spend on meat, chicken, or fish, which is quite expensive. You too could save some money. I'm not forcing you to become vegan, but perhaps you could cut down on the intake and substitute with healthy beans and grains instead. You can also try growing your own vegetables, and they do pretty well indoors too. Whether you live in an apartment or have a house with a yard, you can grow some of your own vegetables and herbs to save cash. This is one of the more unique frugal living tips that you could have fun with. Well, that's it for the video. If some of these tips seem easy to follow, maybe you could give them a try and see how much it saves you by the end of the year. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next one.
3-4 चीज़ें तय हैं। पहली चीज़ तय है कि हम सब मर जाएंगे, दुनिया की कोई ताकत रोक नहीं सकती। दूसरी चीज़ तय है कि जो आज एनर्जी है वो 10 साल 15 साल बाद नहीं होगी शायद, और ये भी तय है कि 150-200 साल की उम्र नहीं है ना। ये तीन चीज़ें फैक्ट है बिल्कुल। तो जो कुछ करना है अगले 4-5 साल 10 साल में ही करना है। तो जिनके पास 19 साल या 20 साल की उम्र है, आप प्रिविलेज हो यार, आपके पास हिंदुस्तान की सबसे अच्छी कंपनी